The Empire of Glass explores the dynamics of wealth, power, and betrayal among millionaires, with a focus on ambition and moral choices. In the shimmering metropolis of Aurum City, where skyscrapers pierced the clouds like needles through silk, wealth was not just a status, it was a religion. The city's elite, a constellation of millionaires and billionaires, orbited around power. There lives a delicate dance of alliances and betrayals. At the heart of this world stood Victor Grayson, a self-made tech mogul whose fortune was as vast as his ambition. His company, Nexus Innovations, had revolutionized artificial intelligence, making him a deity among the city's rich. But even gods could fall, and Victor's empire was about to face its reckoning. Victor's penthouse, perched atop the Obsidian Tower, was a marvel of glass and steel, its walls adorned with abstract art worth millions. On a crisp October evening, he hosted a gala to unveil Nexus's latest creation, a quantum AI capable of predicting market trends with uncanny precision. The guest list was a who's who of Aurum's elite: Sophia Langston, a real estate heiress with a smile as sharp as her stilettos; Marcus Caldwell, a hedge fund titan whose charm masked a ruthless streak; and Elena Moreau, a biotech tycoon whose quiet demeanor hid a mind that could dismantle empires. Each was a millionaire many times over, their wealth a shield and a weapon. As champagne flowed and chandeliers glittered, Victor stood at the podium, his tailored suit accentuating his broad shoulders. "Ladies and gentlemen," he began, his voice smooth as velvet, "tonight, we don't just celebrate innovation. We celebrate control over chaos, over markets, over destiny. Nexus's new AI, codenamed Oracle, will redefine wealth itself." The crowd erupted in applause, but not everyone was charmed. In a shadowed corner, Sophia sipped her drink, her emerald eyes narrowing. She leaned toward Marcus, her voice low. "He's too confident. Oracle's a threat to us all. If it predicts markets perfectly, it could ruin anyone who doesn't own it." Marcus, his jaw tight, nodded. "He's playing God, but gods have enemies. We need to act before he monopolizes the game." Across the room, Elena observed the exchange, her fingers tracing the rim of her glass. She had her own reasons to distrust Victor. Months ago, Nexus had acquired her startup, promising collaboration but delivering control. Her innovations were now his, and her pride still stung. Yet, unlike Sophia and Marcus, Elena preferred precision over impulse. She would wait, watch, and strike when the moment was right. The gala continued, a glittering facade hiding the currents of envy and ambition. Victor, oblivious to the plotting, mingled with his guests, his charisma a magnet. Among them was Lucas Harper, a young entrepreneur whose startup had recently crossed the $1 million mark. Lucas was an outsider, invited only because his app, a social platform for the ultra-wealthy, had caught Victor's eye. Awestruck by the opulence, Lucas felt like an imposter, his rented tuxedo stiff against his skin. Yet, he harbored dreams of joining this pantheon of millionaires, and Victor's attention was his ticket. As the night wound down, Victor pulled Lucas aside. "Your app has potential," he said, his tone paternal. "But it needs scale. Partner with Nexus, and I'll make you a millionaire 10 times over." Lucas's heart raced. "What's the catch?" Victor's smile was enigmatic. "Loyalty. In this world, it's rarer than gold." Lucas nodded, dazzled by the promise. But as he left the penthouse, he overheard Sophia and Marcus in a heated whisper. "We need someone inside," Sophia said. "Someone Victor trusts." Marcus's eyes flicked toward Lucas's retreating figure. "The kid. He's perfect." The next morning, Aurum City buzzed with news of Oracle. Financial blogs speculated on its impact, while the stock market trembled at the thought of a machine that could outsmart it. Victor, in his office, reviewed data on Oracle's latest test run. The AI had predicted a market dip with 98% accuracy, saving Nexus millions in a simulated trade. But something nagged at him, a glitch in the system, a faint anomaly in the code that vanished when he tried to trace it. He called his lead engineer, Clara Voss, a brilliant coder who had been with Nexus since its inception. "Clara, run a diagnostic on Oracle. There's something off." Clara, her glasses perched on her nose, frowned at the screen. "It's clean, Victor. The anomaly could be a false positive." Quantum systems are tricky, they sometimes mimic errors to optimize. Victor trusted Clara implicitly, but doubt lingered. He couldn't afford mistakes, not when billions hung in the balance. Keep digging, he said. I want certainty. Meanwhile, across town, Sophia and Marcus met in a discreet cafe, its windows tinted to shield their conspiracy. Sophia's plan was bold: sabotage Oracle, discredit Victor, and seize control of Nexus's technology. Marcus, ever the strategist, saw the bigger picture. If we tank Nexus's stock, we can buy it cheap. But we need access to Oracle's core. That's where Lucas comes in, Sophia said. He's naive, hungry. We offer him a deal, millions for a little espionage. He'll bite. Marcus hesitated. And if he doesn't? Sophia's smile was cold. Everyone has a price. They approached Lucas that evening at a rooftop bar, the city's skyline a glittering backdrop. Lucas, still reeling from Victor's offer, was wary but intrigued. Sophia played her part perfectly, her charm disarming. Victor's using you, Lucas, she said. He'll take your app, your ideas, and leave you with nothing. Join us, and you'll have a seat at the table. Marcus slid a contract across the table, $10 million for access to Nexus's systems. Lucas's hands trembled as he read it. The sum was unimaginable, enough to catapult him into the elite. But betraying Victor felt like a step into a void. I need time, he said. Don't take too long, Marcus warned. In Orem, hesitation is death. Elena, meanwhile, pursued her own agenda. She had no interest in Sophia's schemes or Marcus's greed. Her goal was personal: reclaim her stolen innovations. Using her contacts in the tech underworld, she hired a hacker, Julian Reed, to infiltrate Nexus's servers. Julian was a ghost, his identity a patchwork of aliases, but his skills were unmatched. Find the original code for my biotech algorithms, Elena instructed. Victor buried them in Oracle's framework. Julian, his face obscured by a hoodie, nodded. It'll cost you. And if I get caught, I'm not going down for you. You won't get caught, Elena said. You're too good. As Julian began his work, Lucas grappled with his decision. Victor had invited him to Nexus's headquarters, a sprawling campus of glass and greenery. There, Victor showed him Oracle's interface, a mesmerizing display of data streams. This is the future, Lucas, Victor said. Join me, and you'll shape it. Lucas wanted to believe him, but Sophia's words echoed in his mind. Was Victor a mentor or a manipulator? That night, he met Sophia again, his resolve crumbling. I'm in, he said. But I want guarantees, my own company, my own terms. Sophia's eyes gleamed. Done. The plan moved swiftly. Lucas, now an insider, gained access to Nexus's secure servers under the guise of integrating his app. Sophia provided him with a device, a sleek USB drive loaded with malware designed to corrupt Oracle's predictions. Plug it in, let it run, and walk away, she instructed. You'll be a millionaire by morning. But as Lucas stood before the server, his hand hovering over the port, doubt seized him. He thought of Victor's trust, of the empire he'd built from nothing. Was this betrayal worth the price? Before he could decide, an alarm blared. Julian's hack had triggered a security breach. Clara, monitoring the systems, spotted the intrusion. Victor, we've got a problem, she said, her fingers flying across the keyboard. Someone's in the mainframe. Victor's face darkened. Lock it down. Trace the source. As Nexus's security team scrambled, Julian realized he'd been detected. He severed his connection, but not before leaving a digital footprint. Elena, monitoring his progress, cursed under her breath. You said you were invisible, she snapped over their encrypted line. I am, Julian retorted. But Nexus's defenses are military grade. I need more time. Time, however, was a luxury no one had. Lucas, caught in the chaos, abandoned the malware and fled the server room, his heart pounding. He didn't know Julian's hack had saved him from committing sabotage, but he knew he'd dodged a bullet. He called Sophia, his voice shaking. I'm out. This is too much. Sophia's tone was ice. You don't get to walk away, Lucas. You're in too deep. The next day, Orem City's financial district was abuzz. Nexus's stock had dipped 10% amid rumors of a security breach. Victor, furious, interrogated his team. Clara's diagnostics revealed the attempted hack, but no data had been stolen yet. It's targeted, she said. Someone wanted specific files, not a broad attack. Victor's mind raced. Who stood to gain? Sophia, with her real estate empire threatened by Oracle's market predictions. Marcus, whose hedge fund thrived on unpredictability. Or Elena, whose quiet resentment he'd underestimated. He summoned Lucas, sensing his unease. You were in the server room last night, Victor said, his eyes piercing. Why? Lucas, sweating, stammered, I was testing my app's integration. I swear. Victor studied him, unconvinced but lacking proof. Don't make me regret trusting you. Meanwhile, Elena recalibrated her plan. Julian's failure had cost her, but she wasn't done. She reached out to Clara, knowing the engineer's loyalty to Nexus was rooted in pride, not blind devotion. Victor's losing control, Elena said over coffee, her tone measured. Oracle's flawed, and he knows it. Help me expose him, and I'll ensure you're credited for your work. Clara, torn, hesitated. She admired Victor but resented his obsession with Oracle. What's in it for you? She asked. Justice, Elena said, her eyes hard. He stole my work. I want it back. The city's elite gathered again a week later, this time at Marcus's mansion for a charity auction. The event was a facade, a chance for the millionaires to flex their wealth while plotting their next moves. Victor attended, his presence a statement of defiance. Sophia and Marcus, working in tandem, spread whispers of Nexus's instability, driving its stock lower. Lucas, avoiding Sophia's gaze, clung to the sidelines, his guilt a heavy weight. Elena, however, made her move. She'd convinced Clara to leak a fragment of Oracle's code, enough to prove Victor had repurposed her biotech algorithms. The leak hit the dark web, and within hours, tech blogs were ablaze with speculation. Victor, blindsided, confronted Clara. You betrayed me, he said, his voice low with fury. Clara didn't flinch. You betrayed yourself, Victor. You built an empire on stolen ideas. The fallout was swift. Nexus's stock plummeted, and investors demanded answers. Victor, facing ruin, turned to Lucas, his last hope. I need your app, he said. It's the only thing that can restore faith in Nexus. Show the world we're still innovating. Lucas saw his chance not for betrayal, but for redemption. He worked tirelessly, integrating his app with Nexus's platform, creating a public-facing tool that democratized Oracle's insights. The launch was a gamble, but it paid off. The app went viral, and Nexus's stock stabilized. The city's millionaires, stunned by the turnaround, recalculated their moves. Sophia and Marcus, their sabotage thwarted, retreated, their alliance fraying. Elena, though she'd exposed Victor, found no satisfaction. Her algorithms were public, but her victory felt hollow. She approached Lucas at the launch event, her expression softened. You surprised me, she said. You chose integrity over millions. Lucas shrugged, a faint smile on his lips. Maybe I'm not cut out for this game. Victor, watching from a distance, realized he'd underestimated the young entrepreneur. He built an empire of glass, beautiful, but fragile. Lucas, with his unpolished ambition, had reminded him of his younger self, before wealth had clouded his vision. As Orem City glittered below, Victor raised a glass to Lucas. To new beginnings, he said. Lucas clinked his glass, his future uncertain but his conscience clear. In the world of millionaires, where trust was a currency rarer than gold, he'd found something worth more, his own path.